with our little...
I love that. Driver calls him out and says, but wait a second, you're advertising. Didn't he already say that? I don't know how you make a T-chart. A golf clap for you.
That's awesome.
I'm excited to spend a little time with you today. I'm going to be introducing a technique, super simple, that is actually really, really effective. And you can use it when you're either just listening to your own phone calls, or if maybe you're coaching somebody else or doing a group session. Like I said, really simple. All it is a T-chart with strengths on one side, one column for strengths, one column for opportunities. Easy peasy. So as we're listening to today's phone call, I'm just going to be filling this out. And we'll pause it along the way like we normally do to maybe interject some comments and thoughts. But really what I'd encourage you to do is you do the same thing. Grab a piece of paper and jot down strengths, opportunities, and take notes. And we'll compare notes at the end to see if maybe we're all on the same page. So I did preview this call. And Josh, you're going to have your hands full. You're very talented. But this gentleman, I think maybe he's French-Canadian. So he has an outstanding accent. I love it. Super cool guy. Really neat driver. And so I'm excited to listen to this call with everyone and just break it down. Sound good?
Oui, oui.
All right. Here we go.
Recruiting. This is...
Oh, yes. Hi. I am calling about the driver position posted on the Facebook. I have a few questions. I live, actually I worked for you guys a long time ago. I was working out of...
Okay.
Okay, yes, question, yeah. I drive now for over 34 years. No accident.
Like I said, I'm super interested to see how you do this, Josh.
I'm just going to preface, I'm not making fun of the guy. I'm going to try to be as accurate to this accent as possible.
Because it's legit. I mean, it's incredible. I could listen to this guy all day. But yeah, we'll see how you do with this. This guy's great.
No tickets. How much can I expect to get?
Well, it depends on what you want to do. We're going to pay differently depending on what you do. So over the road's not going to pay the same as if you were doing something dedicated or regional. So I guess my question to you would be, what do you want to do? And, how often do you want to get home?
I used to be with, back 10 years ago. No, not 10 years ago. It was 8 years ago. I was hired by,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyhow, I used to be on road for 4 weeks, sometimes even more,
Right.
But to be honest, I am not interested in working on road for 4 weeks. Do you have some dedicated run out of...
Yeah, I mean, we do like a run like area and then back to the market. Oh, yeah, we could do something like that. Yeah, and that would be running dry van.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Some dedicated around and maybe even because, I used to drive 40, all Canada, because I am Canadian. I have a good passport. I used to be on road for weeks, sometimes months. But I am tired, and I chain up. I chain up many times.
All right, so far, the driver calls in, says he's a potential rehire. Worked with the company in the past, and so far the driver's doing a lot of the talking, which is fine. Not a lot of questions from the recruiter. So I'm gonna keep a counter going of the number of questions the recruiter asks to learn more about the driver. But like I said, this driver is super cool. He knows what he wants. He's in a different stage of life. We're going to get to that point where he mentions he's kind of ready to do something different. He's tired of chaining up in the snow. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
I am looking for some only, okay? Do you have some running out of...
Yeah, we could do that.
Yes?
Now, something like that would pay 63 cents a mile.
63? You advertise at 64 to 70.
I love that. Pay 63 cents a mile. Instantly, the driver calls him out and says, but wait a second, you're advertising 64 to 70 cents a mile. Now, let's see how the recruiter handles that.
How much can I get with my experience?
Yeah, well, that's over the road. That 64 to 70 is for over the road. All 48, which is what you were doing for us.
Oh, okay. So I would be interested in dedicated out of. So can I get 63 cents per mile, right?
Correct.
Okay. Another question, because I at orientation it takes place. Okay, but how about now? Any chance of doing interview?
No, not in no. We do them every Monday, though, in the terminal.
Terminal.
Yep.
Every Monday?
Yep.
Okay, but no more. No more?
Yeah, you can do. It would be either, but it looks like he's a little closer. It's about 6 hours closer.
But I know, yeah, closer than. Yes, I know. Okay, another question. How many days?
3 days long for orientation.
3 days. 3 days. Okay. Now another very important question.
Telling you, this guy's cool, right? It's just fun listening to him talk. And you can tell an experienced driver, right? The questions he's asking, like he doesn't even have to think about it. It's boom, boom, boom. He knows what he's looking for.
Are the trucks equipped with dash cameras facing inwards and outwards?
No, they're not initially installed in the trucks unless there's something on your recent driving history that would warrant our safety department to put one in there.
Because I would accept the camera facing outward, but not inward. You know what I mean? I am old timer because I am old school driver. See,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another question. What right now do company have truck speed limits at? Is it 65 or 70?
68.
68. Oh, 68. That's much better than before.
Yes.
68. Okay. Now, okay. My another question. Okay, my deal with medical card is good till October. I just, I got a new one. It's good till October 2023. So, will you accept my medical card, or will I?
You'd still need to take a physical day one of orientation.
Orientation. I see. I know. Okay. Final question. How about vaccination? Will it be mandatory or no?
It's not required.
Not required.
No.
Not required. Okay.
Really common question right now, right? Asked about vaccination. It'll be interesting to listen how different fleets respond. Obviously, there's a lot going on with that right now. But we're hearing more and more of it, right? It could potentially be a deciding factor for drivers on what's required or not required.
And final question. Final question. Yes, final.
Wait, didn't he already say that?
It's
Okay.
the final.
The final question. All right.
Because, be honest, I just retired this summer,
Okay.
and I am tired and bored of being confined to home. I'm in good health, no medical issues, none. Never been, I can't remember last time I was sick. And you may not hire me because I turned this summer. Tell me, any chances, yes or no?
Well, that doesn't matter.
So we may beep out his age, right, on the re-recording, but curious to hear how the recruiter responds to that, because it is something that comes up from time to time where a driver's concerned. Maybe, we know the average age of a driver. You hear different numbers, but somewhere between 50 to 55 is normally what you hear. This driver's older than that, and so it can be an issue at times. So let's listen in how the recruiter responds to that question.
There's no restrictions. We're self-insured, so we don't, we're our own governance on that. As long as you can pass the DOT physical, which you've proven that you can, you'll be able to get hired on with us.
HR is giving him a high five. Well done, recruiter. Way to give a good answer there, right? equal opportunity employer. So glad the way the recruiter did that. I thought it was pretty good.
Yes, okay, yes. So no restriction, am I right?
Nope, no restriction.
Okay, and okay, so okay, let me think about it. You know, I spoke to a few months ago because but you know, I'm going back to work, but after New Year, not at this moment.
Yeah,
Orientation takes place in Monday, right?
correct.
Monday, okay.
Correct.
Okay, and will you reimburse for my travel to?
Well, yeah, we would get you, we cover your travel, so you'd get a rental car or a flight.
So get rental car from home, yeah?
Correct. That's right.
Okay, and then truck you assign will be in.
Wait, didn't he say he asked his final question?
Yeah, he did. He's on his final question.
My goodness. Okay.
Yes. And yep, that's correct.
Okay, so I need to take all my stuff because I'd be willing to start right away after orientation.
Right.
Okay. So now, tell me, dedicated route out of to mostly, and maybe some to, and maybe I can even go some.
That lane wouldn't get you to, but it would get you down to like, usually, or
Okay. How about?
we don't really run a lot of freight down, so I'm gonna say no.
Okay. And will I get truck assigned? A one truck with no slip seating anymore?
That's right. No slip seating. That's correct.
No slip seating. Oh, okay. What kind of tractor can you assign?
We run.
Is it?
Yep. We run 3 years or newer.
Oh, okay. Well, new. Can I get a new one?
Well, everything's gonna be 3 years or newer, so they're all pretty new.
Okay.
But we will get you in the best thing we have available.
Okay. And are the trucks equipped with fridge and power inverter? It's very important.
Yep, that's correct. Everything we have has a fridge and an inverter, yes.
Okay, good. Okay, let me think about it. The best option, I'm going to fill out the short form for now, okay?
Okay, that'll work.
I will be ready after New Year, okay?
That's perfectly fine.
But we can set everything up, okay?
All right, that'll work.
Okay, thank you very much. Happy New Year.
Thank you. You as well.
All the best.
Thank you. Yep. Bye-bye.
All right. Good stuff. I like that guy. He's cool. All right, so did you fill out your strengths and opportunities T-chart? Right. Let's compare notes, kind of see what you put, what I put. I'm sure we have some similar things. Maybe you heard some things I didn't, and vice versa. But I always like to start with the strengths, what went well on the phone call. And I don't know, Josh, if you can work your like digital wizardry and like throw some things up here or something on the edits. But strengths, the recruiter did start off with his name, the company he works with, that it's the recruiting department. So nice little introduction in the beginning. I liked how the driver knew what he wanted, and the recruiter was able to kind of put a plan together for him on the spot that seemed to work pretty well for the driver. So I thought that was really good. I also thought the recruiter was really knowledgeable. Didn't have to say, hold on, let me look that up, or I'm not sure, didn't really hesitate. Any question the driver threw at him, he really seemed to know the company inside and out. So seemed like an experienced recruiter. Some tough questions came up, like we mentioned, and I thought the recruiter did a good job of handling those questions as they came up. I also liked the way the recruiter didn't sugarcoat things. It seemed like he came across as trustworthy, right? Set some good expectations. Wasn't afraid to tell the driver no. You're not necessarily going to get the newest truck, but you'll get the best of what's available. So just set really good expectations, I thought. So all good things that I had in my strengths column. So I don't know if we can get comments depending on where the video is posted, but to hear some additional strengths that you heard, maybe you can throw them in there. So let's bounce to the other side, opportunities. So here's just some of the things that I jotted down as I was listening is, what's the driver's name? Do you remember, Josh? I don't think the driver ever said it, and the recruiter never asked. So I couldn't tell you the driver's name either. I'd have to go back and listen again. Maybe it was quickly said in the beginning, but I don't remember the name ever coming up. Which is odd because the driver said they worked for the company before, so you would think the recruiter would make more of an effort to talk about that experience when the driver was there before, and what that was like, and what he's done since then, why he wants to potentially return to them. A lot of questions that could come up, I think. Now, maybe he used the phone number and was able to pull it up. Who knows? But that was something that stood out to me, is we don't even know the driver's name. The driver also mentioned that they're responding to a Facebook ad. And I'd be curious to know what about the Facebook ad jumped out to the driver. Never asked, right? Now, he did mention pay, right? When it wasn't the answer that he expected, right? 64 to 70 cents, but 63 was the answer. So that might be something that he saw that gained his interest. I did, and once again, I might have to go back and listen, but I wrote down the number of questions the recruiter asked, and it was one. One question. It was a good question, right, where the driver asked how much he could get paid, and the recruiter said, well, it depends on what you're running, right, the routes. And then he asked the driver, what are you interested in? What do you want to run? But I think that was the only question in the entire 9-minute phone call. At the end, the driver says, let me think about it. Common response, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. I like to think about decisions, especially big decisions. I think most of us do. But I think it's important as a recruiter to ask a follow-up question on absolutely what are you going to be basing your decision off of? What are the biggest factors? To get some more insight, like what is there to think about? I wouldn't phrase it that way, but from everything that we talked about, it sounded like a really good fit. So what is there still to think about? Is the driver going to be weighing other companies, other options? Let's ask about it. And then it was interesting because normally it's a good practice for a recruiter to do a recap of the call. In this case, the driver recapped it, right? Okay, so I can get paid 63 cents. I'm going to be running this dedicated route. I would have to go to this area for orientation. Like the driver recapped everything. So those were some of the things I listed in the opportunities column. Now, once again, if you're doing this for yourself, as a group, doing coaching, I wouldn't try to work on everything that you see on here, right? I would pick maybe one or two of these items, maybe one in the strength column to talk about and say, hey, make sure I want to make sure to continue to do this. And then maybe one or two in the opportunity column. What's going to move the needle the most? And so what do you think? I mean, if you had to pick one thing from this phone call to work on that would show the most drastic improvement over time, what would it be? I don't know. Do you have a thought on that, Josh?
I would just say in general, it seems to go better when the recruiters ask more questions. But old boy was really spitting them out there fast, so I don't know how much opportunity that guy actually had.
Yeah. I'm trying to decide. I think that's a really big one. And I think, honestly, if the recruiter asked more questions, most of these other opportunities probably go away, because that's most of what I wrote down. Let's go with that. I think that would be the biggest one, is how can I ask more questions, right? Because initially I was leaning towards the whole let me think about it, and overcoming that objection. But how do you overcome it? Ask more questions, right? So that's what it all comes back down to. So we're excited to continue to do these videos. I know we're going to be mixing it up with different things, different visuals, bring in some guests, collaborate on phone calls. But hopefully you took the opportunity on this one to have a little interaction, right? Hopefully you kind of jotted down some thoughts, some notes. And once again, depending on where this is posted, I'd love to see in the comments other strengths and opportunities you heard, and then what would be the main 1 or 2 things you focus on based on this phone call. So really appreciate you joining us. It's a lot of fun, and let's go out there and create great experiences for drivers. Thanks.